is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Florida.
The Cubs arrived on Thursday for a 4-gamer, and the Marlins promptly unloaded on the Northsiders. It was a big night for Big G, and Miami got game 1. Last night, the Cubbies came out smoking. 6 hits, 4 runs in the first. Lots of shock and awe. But with 1 pitch and 1 swing, Justin Bour tied it. Wilson Contreras would win it in the 7th. Hey, what do you say? The Cubs, they won yesterday. Game 3 tonight. Saturday in Miami, afternoon headed towards evening. The Cubs and the Marlins are back at it in Marlins Park, and thank goodness the roof is shut, windows closed, AC's blowing on a hot and humid day in Miami. Moises Alou standing tall. His bobblehead, of course, history with the Marlins and the Cubs. John Lackey still fighting Father Time and still getting wins. Paul Clemens gets his 2nd start for Miami. Hi, everybody. Rich Waltz along with Al Leiter. When this series started, it was to be a barometer for the Marlins. How are they? How do they shape up against one of the better teams in baseball? And so far, it's all even.
Yeah, right. So far, so good. Is it 1-1? I always thought the 4-game series, obviously, you want to win every series. Today is a pretty big game, right? I mean, whoever wins here has a chance to win the series as opposed to tying it 2-2. But I think when I look into this, we saw last night with what looked like it was going to be a clunker of a start and Paul Clemens running down the right field line. And we said, oh, you know, Kohler doesn't have it. Ended up not having to pitch, and his opportunity today as a 28-year-old who hadn't had a start other than his last start against Colorado since 2013.
And that's the backdrop here. Justin Nicolino to the minor leagues. The Marlins rumored to be talking about trades for another starter, but it's Paul Clemens who makes his 2nd start.
You know, Rich, I look at this opportunity for him. And, yes, he gave up the 3 runs. They were actually 3 solo home runs and an eventual Marlins loss. But this is a guy, fastball, curveball, changeup, did make a couple mistakes with some of his curveballs. But he's got a chance here to show Don Mattingly and Juan Nieves a chance to, hey, I belong in the big leagues.
John Lackey's been in the big leagues forever, it seems like, since that great year in 2002 in a world championship with the Angels, and he is still getting it done. He had an outstanding year last year in St. Louis, and he's on a nice run here.
Well, you could see that right there. There's no doubt about it, Rich. This guy can pitch. He doesn't throw as hard as he once did. He's a bulldog. He attacks the zone. He's got a good cutter he came up with. Boy, his latest run, we just showed it, has been phenomenal. Marlins
have their work cut out against Lackey. An opportunity for Clemens. The bullpen, how they doing? Actually quite well. Craig Minervini and Jeff Nelson will tell you about it. Dodge is the presenting sponsor of Miami Marlins baseball. Cubs and Marlins ready to go. Let's go out to center field. Craig Minervini, and welcome to Jeff Nelson here at Marlins Park. Guys.
All right, Rich, you crossed paths with Mr. Nelson during his Seattle days. The 4-time World Series champ is with us, and he'll be in studio with us for the entire road trip coming up that we'll be handling the lead broadcast for. And let's talk a little bullpen. It's a subject dear to your heart. Jeff, your long 15-year career for the Marlins, they've had some interesting pieces setting themselves up for this weekend series, and how they've used the guys. It's been a busy pen this year.
Well, Mattingly, over the years, I think has become really good at using the bullpen. And, with the pitch count, the starter's about 100, 110 pitches. Tonight, Clemens is not going to go that. He only threw 78 his first start. I imagine maybe about 95 this time. So the bullpen's going to be used. Bear Claw, your setup guy, did not pitch last night. And neither did David Phelps. And also your ninth inning guy. So, if Clemens can give you 5 or 6 innings, then you go right into the setup guys, and they're healthy, and you can lock this game down. Nasty guys, strikeout guys in that bullpen, so you're going to be used. You just want to use them when you're up.
And you like the fact that if you can have the lead here, your 7, 8, 9 guys did not pitch in the game last night.
Absolutely, because you're going to need them. Like I said, Clemens maybe 5 or 6 innings. Once you get around a third time around the lineup, he'll wind up being out of the game. Mattingly, probably doesn't want to see that. So then you're going to see your setup guys getting to Ramos. You could even see Ramos get 4 outs tonight. Who knows?
All right, we'll see. Ball game coming up. It is a pivotal one, as Al and Rich talked about, because the winner here will take a 2-1 lead going into that Sunday finale with Jose Fernandez pitching tomorrow for the Fish. Late Saturday afternoon baseball coming your way. Cubbies, Fish next.
Baseball, Fox Sports Florida. It's brought to you by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. By the Florida Department of Transportation. Drive sober or get pulled over. By your local Toyota dealers. Let's go places. And by Southwest, transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Jason Hayward standing tall on deck. About to walk to the plate. The Cubs lineup looks this way. Hayward trying to get his bat going is in the leadoff spot. UL Sports Medicine brings it to you. Chris Bryant, a terrific year, an all-star year. And Anthony Rizzo, the local kid who has made good, is in the lineup for the first time this series. How about Wilson Contreras? He has hurt the Marlins. He looks like a bright young prospect for the Cubs. Javi Baez is at second base. Addison Russell at short. First sign of Miguel Montero, who tweaked his knee the other day in a play at the plate. John Lackey is in the 8th spot, and Albert Almora Jr., the pride of Hialeah, is in center field.
And Paul Clemens will be facing that Cubs lineup. He got a start against the Rockies in his only start. 5 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs. He gave up 3 solo home runs. See the ERA from AAA New Orleans. Let's take a look at a scout report. Fastball curve change. He's got a good curve when it's down. His fastball is going to be right around 91 miles an hour. Welcome back to the big leagues. I mentioned at that Colorado start. Last time he started was in 2013. There's a ball. And yes, Rich, opportunity knocks, right? He's got a chance. He's 28 years old. Hasn't started. He had 5 starts with the Astros in 13. And here he is getting an opportunity. Make the best of it. Press Don Mattingly and Juan Nieves and anybody else who sees him as, hey, this guy can get the job done.
2-0 the count. Jason Hayward, Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo. Now Clemens has watched for 2 nights, and you've watched for 2 nights. What would this starting pitcher and you, a starting pitcher, ascertain from the Cubs in terms of their approach?
Well, I think especially last night, Rich, you have a couple guys in this lineup. You definitely want to make them earn it with Jason Hayward getting behind 3-1 count. Chris Bryant is impressive. It could go the other way. I know he hooked a home run. Rizzo, first game of the series. That's going to be interesting to see him. He's a very productive hitter, a lot of power. There you go, down the way. Wilson Contreras, you mentioned it when you did the lineup. Wow, what an impressive player. Now here he is, left field, the typical Joe Madden type player. Zobrist having the day off. You know, this is a team that you leave a fastball up, out, over. They're going to get some good barrel on it. Oh boy, that's right down the middle.
The bat never left Hayward's shoulder.
See that? Listen, that's a nice crossfire shoot fastball from Clemens. That ball that looked pretty much right down the middle. 3-1 count, then 3-2. Maybe that little 2-seam comeback. I take it back. That was inner third, but had much of the plate. 92 in body line, somewhere on the inner part of the plate, and just locking Hayward up.
So Clemens starts his night or day, I know we're right in between, with a strikeout. And here is Bryant, 3 for 6, a homer. He's driven in 2, and he's having an all-star type season, and takes a strike. He was an all-star last year, and of course the rookie of the year in the National League. That average doesn't fully illustrate the year he's having. A little roller wide of the line. 361 on base, a 526 slugging percentage, 16 doubles, and of course the 18 home runs for Chris Bryant.
Susceptible to off speed, and your question, as you asked me, of course most major leaguers can hit a fastball, right? After the first inning, Tom Kohler gave up the 4 runs. He settled in nicely, ended up getting six innings, the 4 runs I mentioned, 2 walks and 6 Ks. He started throwing a lot more. Tom Kohler, there he is, more of his curveball slider combination, was throwing his changeup. You see his line, that could have been a disaster. First inning, 4-run spot, and then the Marlins comes back with the grand slam by Bohr and tied the game up until the 7th when the Cubs pushed the run across.
Visit by Real Muto. And the 0-2. Breaking ball misses out.
Well,
now remember, Clemens in that start had a cut on his thumb, and it came from apparently throwing that breaking ball. It wasn't a blister, it was a cut, not on the front of his thumb, on the back of his thumb. Marlins trainers put some super glue on it to close the wound, and he continued to pitch. So far, no sign of blood. He finished the game with blood all over his pants.
so the back of his thumb.
Back of his thumb.
All right, well, I mean, at least it's not on the fingertips, right?
Yeah. Count 2-2.
You see immediately going to a big dose of breaking balls, leaving those pitches up. Now, even though Bryant's a good fastball hitter, good location with the curveball, somewhere down the way.
You see the moisture on his hand right now. Fastball, fly ball, well hit right center field. Ichiro won't get it. It hops off the top of the wall, and Bryant's got himself a double.
And You see the strength of Chris Bryant. Just got the barrel to it. Almost looked like he poked it. One hop the wall in right center field. Fastball, outer third. Nice hitting. Doesn't pull off. Stays on it. Drives that ball to right center field. Impressive approach. Doubles for Chris Bryant.
And now the first appearance of the series of Anthony Rizzo. Rizzo, of course, well known in these parts. Had a terrific career in high school, coming up in Parkland at Stoneman Douglas High School. His 5th year with the Cubs. And a fastball in. He is notorious for standing up on the plate, leaning out over. If you go in, he'll take one. If you leave it out over the plate, he'll hit it out of the park. He's not an easy guy to pitch to. See where Real Muto is set up. Rizzo fouls it. The count's 1 ball and 1 strike.
You know what I like about him, Rich? For this day and age where I've spoken to a lot of major league hitters that can hit home runs, I don't care about the strikeout. You know what he does? Watch his 2-strike approach. Chokes up a little bit, puts the ball in play, and as you just described it, he'll hit the ball where it's hit with 2 strikes. A dangerous hitter. On top of the plate, you see his back foot almost on the front line of the batter's box. I like guys, if they never had a 2-strike approach and just swing for the fences. Watch here if we get a chance here. He just inch up on the bat a little bit for back control for a guy that could hit 35 home runs.
Hit 31 last year with 38 doubles. An all-star for the 2nd time last year.
Yeah, see there, right there, Rich? This is all about putting the ball in play.
That one pop foul and back out of play.
Now I know the sabermetric world of, you know, an outs and out, strikeout or ground out. You got a guy that can handle the bat, put the ball in play. Good things happen, right? Even at the major league level. Ground ball, a guy boots it, or he jam shots. How many times you see a guy break his bat and throw a 30 love over the third baseman's head?
Well, a strikeout can't score a guy from third with a fly ball, and a strikeout can't move a guy from second to third with a ground ball. So yeah, I mean, there's such things as productive outs that it's nice to see. There are statistics that track those now. Got 1 and 2. Rizzo is not a guy that wants to go away. He'll battle you, as you just described. Clemens misses, and it counts 2 balls and 2 strikes.
There's a changeup. Mentioned Clemens, fastball, curve, occasional changeup. Kind of telegraphed it a little bit. The whole thing with a changeup for a pitcher is to trust the grip and have the same arm speed.
Rizzo to center. Bryant tags. Ichiro has it. And Bryant on his way to third. He slides and he's safe. Just kept his hand on the bag. Ichiro made a terrific throw, and Prado smartly got the glove down. Here's a look.
Wow, that throw from Ichiro, that was almost near the warning track of center field. See Bryant lose the bag, does he? Uh-oh. I'll tell you what, if Prado was right on the bag there, surprise him a little bit.
Whoa. Whoa, that might be reviewed. You saw the hand come off the corner when Prado's glove got there, and the Marlins are looking at it. And Don Mattingly wants a review. Interesting, because he got back to the bag, but it looked like he lifted his hand off before Prado came down on him.
The immediate, you never know. Get that glove, bang it down on the bag. Oh, he's off. Fingertip. Oh, the problem is it's got to be conclusive.
Here's another look, another angle. Oh, I think he's off. That's a frame by frame. Wow. Right there, the hands up, the gloves down. Whew, is that close? It's a real gamble too, when you challenge in the top of the first. Now even Bryant is looking up at the scoreboard and he wants to see. Prado's looking, everybody's looking, and you got to give Ichiro credit, who was in deep center field and threw a one-hop strike.
But again, it has to be 100% conclusive for the umpiring crew that's in Manhattan reviewing this. I mean, it looks like Prado had the glove on Bryant's fingertips when it was off.
This one may take a while because all of the views they have, they're able to in New York capture each frame and go frame by frame. And this is obviously splitting hairs, but the importance is enormous here. You're trying to get Clemens out of this inning. The Cubs want to get Contreras an at bat with Bryant at third base. And right now, looking at the umpires,
there's no headset.
There's no headset right now. Now, maybe it's not working. Maybe the umpires are watching another play from another game. Let's blow it up. There's the hand on. Fingers off. He's out. But here's now they're on the headsets. So this is probably like air traffic at LaGuardia. There might have been a few other reviews that were going on. There are 2 sets of umpires, 8 total, that rotate during a day or night in New York. A lot of the games have started at a 4:10 start from the blown up view outliner that we just saw, and they will have those available in New York.
Well, and in addition to our feed, they also have the Cubs feed.
Yes.
So it's, there's maybe the Cubs have another angle. I'm not sure. Yeah, right there. If they have that, Rich, I mean, that looked pretty. Did that look conclusive to you?
Yeah.
No,
but
maybe.
you know what? It's really hard. It is really hard these days to know for sure.
I don't know. It looked like there was that split second where Bryant's finger came off the bag. Well, here we go.
Wow. Safe. Here comes Don Mattingly. Now, he can't argue. That's John Hirschbeck, the crew chief. Marlins are going to lose their challenge over this. Now, obviously, Mattingly can get angry, but it's not the umpires here that made the decision.
Yeah, takes the Earl Weaver moments out of the game, doesn't it?
It does. So call stands means not enough evidence to overturn.
Well, interesting, because I don't. What could Donnie be discussing? Because it's not Hirschbeck, right? It's the headset, and it's back in Chelsea, down there in Manhattan.
Well, he may have wanted to know why the umpires weren't on headset to begin with, and why it took so little time to do it. That may have just been a technical glitch. As it is, Bryant survives. Rizzo's out, obviously, And here is Contreras, who's off to an outstanding start in his major league career. He's hit in all 6 games with 3 homers, and he's driven in 8. And this is the at-bat that the Marlins were trying to avoid. Contreras has hurt the Fish in this series. 2-run homer, RBI single yesterday. And he was 1 for 4 in game 1. And he's in left field. So he's been behind the plate at first and in left. Clemens misses in.
Yeah, I thought that home run, the 2-run homer yesterday off of Kohler, I thought it was a good pitch. Fastball down the way, went with it, and a home run into the Marlins bullpen. Could see why the Cubs are excited about this young man. He's a good-looking player.
And now it's 3-0. Javi Baez is on deck. Juan Nieves watching. And a strike. Bill Welke, by the way, is calling balls and strikes. John Hirschbeck is down at first. Vic Carapaza's out at second, and DJ Rayburn umpiring at third. And Clemens walks him. Defensively for Miami. Southwest Airlines brings it to you. Yelich, Ichiro, and Giancarlo Stanton. Marcelo Zuna gets an off day. Prado and Bohr on the corners. Echeverria and Dietrich up the middle. JT Realmuto behind the plate. Now Baez, a couple hits in this series and a strike on the outside part. One of the bright young players that the Cubs have in the big leagues. Baez actually got to the big leagues at 21 back in 2014. 52 games in 14, 28 games last year. There's the curveball from Clemens.
Just got rounded a little bit, but Baez saw last night a little susceptible to the breaking ball from the right-handed pitcher, the slider curveball. Couple strikeouts last night.
He drove in a run in the first. A 4-run first last night for the Cubs on 6 hits before Kohler would recover to then throw 5 shutout innings. That's a strike.
That's I thought so. That cross, if you saw where Realmuto was setting up, and Bill Welke's one of the older umpires, and it's about presentation for some of the umpires, even though that got the plate. Meaning Realmuto sets up inside, so you have Bill Welke, longtime umpire. So he wants this fastball in, and then that reach way across his body. See where Bill Welke sets up, as umpires do on the inside part of the plate. Still caught the corner of the plate.
Two balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. This game just underway. Saturday crowd still filing in. Runner goes, jam shot, little pop-up. Bohr has it and makes the catch. So after all that, the long delay of the review, a scoreless start for the Cubs. you can see right now they're trying to get some of that moisture off of the forearm of Paul Clemens. Miami's lineup to go against John Lackey looks like this. UHealth Sports Medicine brings it to you. Ichiro in the leadoff spot. Martin Prado, Christian Yelich, Giancarlo Stanton with Ozuna out is up in the cleanup spot. Justin Bour at first. Derek Dietrich at second. JT Realmuto will do the catching, and Danny Echeverria is it short, and Paul Clemens is slotted ninth.
The veteran John Lackey on the mound. What a year he's having, especially up late. The 7-3, the 2.78. Actually, this whole rotation with the Cubs are all under 3. Let's take a look at the scouting report. I mentioned the year he's having. Well, how about since May Flowers, 4-2 with an ERA of 1.97 in those 10-game start. That's 6th lowest ERA during that time in the National League. Low whip. Whip it good. I like that. And batting average against. He doesn't give up a whole lot of hits and walks. He's going to attack these hitters, as he's doing right there. 0-2 to Ichiro. A .98 whip. Less than 1 per inning. And a batting average, Rich, of 209. He's really having a good year. Recorded his 2,000 strikeout against the Nats. There's only 7 active pitchers with 2,000 or more strikeouts.
He works quickly, and he and Ichiro have seen each other a lot. 119 at bats, 36 hits. It's the highest total pitcher-batter matchup in all of baseball among active players. Of course, Lackey with the Angels, Ichiro with the Mariners. A lot of at bats leading up to this here in 2016, and they're both still going strong. Lackey at 37, Ichiro at 42. There's your career numbers. Count to 3-2. Breaking balls up. Ichiro lays the bat down and is aboard. Martin Prado now. Prado's had such a scorching season. Had his average up in the top 5 of the National League for so long. Is 0 for 7 with 4 strikeouts in this series. Runner goes. Big jump by Ichiro, and he is in there. Ball pops out of the glove of Baez, but I think Ichiro had the bag regardless of the tag.
Yeah, nice job right there. The Marlins, I like it. Montero behind home plate. Not very good, to say the least, of throwing runners out.
He's thrown 1 out this year.
3%. League average of about 28. Ball popping out of the glove. You're going to see Marlin runners taking advantage of that.
He's thrown out 1 of 32 base stealers this year. Fastball backs Prado up, and the count's 2-0. Obviously, with the issues that Lester has, Kyle Hendricks is not great at preventing stolen bases. Mix in Montero. Now, you have to think that Montero's numbers, if he had a pitching staff that was a little better at holding runners, his numbers wouldn't be 1 for 32.
True. You can't blame it all on the catcher, although he's got to take some of the blame. But if you have a rotation, there's Chris Bosio, the pitching coach for the Cubs, that doesn't occasionally give a quick step, a faster time to show the opposing manager, or in this case first base coach with some of the green runners, they'll constantly give the time. And if you get a right-hander right around 1-1, 1-2, you start getting up into 1-3, 1-4, 1-5, you're better runners. Just in simple math, the time it takes from pop time.
Little flare, it's going to end up in the seats.
From release to the catcher and then the catcher's throw, you add it up and you can't outrun the ball.
There was a time where John Lackey threw harder, but he hasn't thrown that much better than he did last year. His ERA was 2.77 for the Cardinals. Prado into left field. That's a hit. Ichiro had to wait till it got through. And he's at third. Prado's at first. And Miami at the corners with nobody out. And here comes Yelich.
Yeah, a little breaking ball from Lackey. Just as you described it, watch Ichiro making sure that the ball gets by Addison Russell. That's just smart base running. Station to station now and nobody out. Ichiro at third base. Fundamentally sound a baseball player right there. Still, offensively, defensively.
Now Yelich. So I guess the question is, Al, how is Lackey getting it done without the velocity he had early in his career as an Angel?
You know what? I think when you make the transition as a pitcher and realize that you don't throw as hard. Now there's 93. That's completely legit. He's averaged 92, right at 92 this year. He's maxed velocity at 95. He throws his fastball about 40% of the time, including a two-seamer and a four-seamer.
0-2 breaking ball, line to center, and Almora makes the catch. Ichiro tags, and he will score. Yelich hit it right on the button, and that one almost carried over Almora's head.
Yeah, that ball traveled a little bit farther than Almora thought. Nice job. That's a productive run right there. The walk, stolen base, a little base hit.
Cubs defensively, boy, Javi Baez has been outstanding wherever he's played in this series. Southwest Airlines brings it to you. Wilson Contreras in left field. That's his third different position. Almora's back in center field. Stanton takes the strike. Hayward in right, Bryant and Rizzo on the corners, Russell and Baez up the middle, and Montero behind the plates. There's Almora. 1-1 to Stanton. It'll be interesting to see how Lackey attacks Giancarlo.
Oh, so far, a couple heaters right in there.
Prado's at first. A heater swing, and he threw it by him.
That's it. 3 fastballs, and that one was almost center cut. All right, so third fastball, strike ball, and then right down the middle.
High pop-up. Montero back for a look, and it's out of play. If you could cast a starting pitcher in baseball as a Old West gunslinger, some guy at the OK Corral, this is the guy, isn't it?
Oh, 6'6", 230 poundish.
Abilene, Texas.
Looks mean.
Yeah. And he strikes out Stanton.
There was no messing around there. That's Lackey saying, all right, this is what I got. I'm coming right after you, big boy. All fastballs. 5 fastballs. This ball up, inner third. Giancarlo swinging through it.
Justin Bour now. Bour homering in the first. In last night's ball game, a grand slam. Lackey filling up the strike zone now. It's 0-1.
Yeah, pulled a string. The first pitch curveball.
And Bour pops that one into the seats. This was last night against Kyle Hendricks.
Yeah, that ball you can see it looked like some kind of cutter going. Supposed to be away center field. 13 home runs, 40 RBIs on the year.
Always interesting to see how teams shift Justin Bour. And look at the Cubs, a progressive defensive shifting team. Joe Madden helped write the book on it, and they're pretty much straight up, maybe as straight up as we've seen any team this year. Current manager, future manager.
Yeah, David Ross, what a guy. He's got an interest in it. I asked him, you know, after your playing days, and he said, you know what, I want to feel what it's like to be on the front office side of their perspective of, as you talk about progressive, the sabermetric world and the computers, and the whole statistical element of the game, as opposed to just, I guess, getting right into coaching.
Board takes in. And the Marlins not only have a run, but they've pushed Lackey to 25 pitches here in the first inning. Prado will be on the move. And Bohr goes after a fastball and strikes out. Miami gets a run. Lackey strikes out the last two. This game is underway. It's 1-0 Marlins. This just in. Actually, it was announced last night, but thanks to everybody, the 2016 Fox Sports Florida Fantasy Auction raised over $150,000. That's a net, folks, and that will go to the Marlins Education Fund with the Marlins Foundation. And a big help for us from Ford. Craig, you've got more on that.
Thank you very much, Rich. Al Young is with us. We've talked a few times, and it's great because the combination of South Florida Ford with all our teams down here in South Florida, but the great job that we did on the fantasy auction, I want to thank you and your models as well, and the entire production, because it was a record year this year, Al.
You're more than welcome. And first of all, it's been many times we spoke.
Yes.
And it's not our models, it's our Ford girls.
Yes.
But I've seen you had them up close and tight and personal with you the other night. But you know, the fantasy auction, Mr. Sampson talked to me about a few years ago, and it's something that we do. You know, we help the community, we get involved, and we try to make a difference. And you guys are good partners to us, and we'll be good partners back. We're Ford, 100-year-old company, right? The Marlins, big deal. So my pleasure, my pleasure.
Record-setting over $150,000 this year, Al. That is really neat to be right in the middle of that for you, I know.
It's always nice. 150 grand's not bad in one night, right?
Very nice.
I don't remember the original number the first year, but it wasn't $150,000. So, you know, when they started it, and I can't remember how long it was. How many
11 years?
11 years ago. It's a long way to that 150, but now from the 150 up will be bigger and faster. You know.
Happy birthday to Al, which is Monday. And the connection continues between Ford and the Marlins because Mr. Marlin, Jeff Conine, will also celebrate a birthday on Monday.
You know, I know Jeff. He's considerably older than I am. I'm 37. No. But I know Jeff, and I didn't know that. So next time we played some golf with him, with Jeffrey. He's a good man. So I happen to be younger.
Yeah, absolutely. Al Young.
I'm much older.
Young, you got it. And a check presentation that they just gave also from the Marlins Foundation for his Autism Speaks. Great stuff. Thanks again, Al.
Thank you, Greg. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Miguel Montero, who has not had a great year, has just tied this game with one swing. And the Cubs even the score. Fourth home run for Montero. And And it's the 4th solo homer that Paul Clemens has given up. And this is inning number 7 for Clemens this season.
That got out of here in a hurry. You mentioned it, Rich. You see again, location. If you're right around that 90-91 mark, got to hit the glove. 197 Montero this year. And now 4 home runs on the year. A mistake thrown by Clemens.
And here's Lackey. And that is up. It's 2-0. Here's the pitch.
Watch Real Muto sets up away and middle of the plate. Actually, inner half, inner third, down and in.
2-1. Of course, it was Clemens that made the start in that record-setting game in which all 8 runs came on solo homers. It had never happened in Major League history. In fact, the highest total where all the runs were on solo homers was 5. And so the Rockies and the Marlins, mostly the Rockies, the Marlins hit 3, the Rockies hit 5. Full count, 3-2.
Yeah, Madden likes to put the hitter 8, so he has technically the 2 leadoff type hitters back to back in Amora and Hayward at the top of the order. Wow.
So Clemens gives up a homer to Montero and then walks the pitcher. And here comes Albert Almora. Place a deposit on a 2017 season ticket. Guarantees you access to the All-Star game in Miami. Place your deposit before July 8th and be invited to an exclusive home run derby event at Marlins Park where you can swing for your seats. Get your season tickets for free. 1-877-MARLINS, the number to call. And here is Almora. Hialeah grown. The 0-1. And it's a breaking ball for a strike.
So nearby, huh, Almora?
Yeah, and really a sweet homecoming for him. His father is battling prostate cancer. And so just to come home and get a meal from mom and get a chance to see dad. And he strikes out. It's been an emotional couple days for the youngster. He's just 22.
He saw a couple nasty curveballs from Clemens. You see, that's a buckler right there, folks. That's the pitch. Yeah, Clemens, if he's going to stay in this game long, he's got to have that pitch, get ahead, and use that. It's a good one.
Now Hayward. As amazing a start as it's been for the Cubs, here they are at 48-24. Their run differential is out of this world, plus 163. And Jason Hayward's not hitting. Hayward has just 4 homers. His slugging percentage is only .329. He's getting on base at a .325 clip. Can you imagine if he were hitting? Smokes it. Dietrich snares it. But Miguel Montero ties the game with 1 swing. It's 1-1.
Marlins Baseball es presentado en español vía SAP por West Kendall Toyota.
Moises Alou high above the bobblehead museum here at Marlins Park. Good crowd on a Saturday afternoon, headed towards evening in Miami, where the Cubs and the Marlins have split the first two of what has so far been a very entertaining series. Now, Jose Fernandez start tomorrow for Miami. Tonight, Miguel Montero off of Paul Clemens, who is auditioning for the 5 spot in the Marlins rotation. Got a start against Colorado. Gets a start here against the first place Cubs. And it's Dietrich, Real Muto, and Echeverria against Lackey in the second.
Well, he definitely has his opportunity, right? As a 5th starter, chance to get back to the big leagues. Justin Nicolino down in the minors, out of spring training. I think the Marlins thought Jared Cozart would have been the guy.
And the frustrating thing with Cozart now is he's in AAA and he's banged up. He's got a side issue which has prevented him from going out. Lackey with a breaking ball for a strike to Dietrich, who's 0 for 3 in this series. Nice MLB Network appearance for Dietrich yesterday. They brought out the vintage juggling video when Dietrich was in the circus.
Huh?
Well,
fill me in, please.
Not Ringling Brothers, but a youth circus when he was growing up in Cleveland. He's a very accomplished juggler. He was juggling flaming something or others, and then knives as well.
Really?
Yes. All good, he said. It helps with the hand-eye coordination, and he's done it for us a few times as well. I think he's one of those guys that can get like 5 balls going at a time. Very impressive. He didn't run away with the circus, but Real Muto swings and misses. JT a couple hits in this series, a double and an RBI.
You could do 3, right, Rich?
Yes, absolutely. Can do 3 and then 2 at a time on each hand.
Yeah.
You too?
I can do 4.
Really?
No. No, I think I can do 3.
Bowling
I've
pins?
done 3.
Bowling pins?
Yeah, bowling pins.
Chainsaws?
Chainsaws I've done. Torches.
Sure you have. The circus coming to Toms River, New Jersey.
That's right.
Fastball in. The Real Muto. Echeverria on deck. Lackey gave up a run in the first. It just shows that first inning for the Marlins what a little speed can do. And without D. Gordon, the Marlins have been either station to station or hit one out kind of offense, where it takes sometimes 3 hits to get a run. But for Don Mattingly in the first, it took 1 hit, a walk, a stolen base, a single, and a sacrifice fly. Marlins aren't alone. There are some other National League teams that don't run much. Almora wanders back and makes the catch. Legally, Al, I must say, the copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority. The Marlins may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Accounts and descriptions of the game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Miami Marlins.
And then to compound that, I mean, I'm with you. Ichiro, walk, stolen base, base hit, and then scores. But they have 65 home runs as a team, Rich, and that is 27th in baseball. Only Kansas City, San Francisco, and the Braves have less.
Now, a good part of that is this ballpark. I mean, even though the Marlins did bring the fences in some places, it's still big. Marlins will be visiting another large park in Detroit on Tuesday nights. Lackey with a high fastball, and he is sharpening up. 3 strikeouts now for the veteran right-hander. It's 1-1. T-Mobile brings you greater coverage of baseball. Albert Pujols, 573. He has tied Harmon Killebrew, 11th all-time. Mark McGwire is next on that list. We talked about George Springer in the first inning. He had a triple and a grand slam. First player in the modern era to do that. John Gibbons ejected from a game against the White Sox. 5 ejections. And 38 of his career. I've got to think that 38 is a of active managers. I'll bet you 38 ejections now.
Now, especially, right? I mean, with the review.
Yeah, I mean, Dusty Baker's been ejected, sure, but I don't know about 38 times. Prado, bare hands, very nice to get Bryant.
Nice play, all in one fell swoop. Prado coming in. Key about this is to make sure barehanded grab. You watch it all the way into your hand. Times it nicely. Bryant, not the fastest guy on the Cubs. Good play. See that? Keeping his head on it. Nice strong throw.
Now Rizzo climbs in. The path to the Cubs for Rizzo was an interesting one. Out into center, Echeverria's calling it. He makes the catch. We apologize for the great audio that we have here at Marlins Park. We give you every sound on the bases at the plate, and every now and then there's a sound that we wish we were able to prevent. But sorry. Those things pick up everything else, so be careful when you're around that.
Yes.
And you're around that. That's hidden in the. That's home of the crickets. Not. We had to eject the crickets. We actually had a home plate umpire come over and eject them, and they're down the street. The crickets. I'm telling you, it is half true. No, we did get an exterminator to come in because we tried to pick up plate sound and the sound around there, and all we heard were.
Oh, right, the little
chirping. There were crickets that were literally living in there. They were squatters.
Oh, that'd be annoying, right? Because I know in the middle of the night, what do they do? Rub their legs together or something like that?
Yeah, well, they were there.
Yeah, great sound here, Marlins Park.
Wilson Contreras walked back in the first. There's that breaking ball from Clemens. Cubs threatened in the first, a double and a walk, didn't score, and then tied it in the second. Miguel Montero a solo homer. Foul back. Have you got a manager you think it's been ejected more than John Gibbons in his career? 38
in the career?
Yeah.
Oh, I got to be my
active guys that are managing.
I was going to say Billy Martin, Earl Weaver come to mind.
Well, of course, but you know, Showalter, Bochy, guys that have been in a while.
Active.
Dusty Baker.
I bet Ron Gardenhire of the Twins, he was probably up there. He seemed always.
We saw him in Minnesota. It was the first game that he had attended since he'd been fired. He was working in their, I believe, player development department. Saw Gardy 2 weeks ago.
Good man.
He was not ejected. And he's not current, so he can't go on your list.
So Gibby, I mean, you know, listen, I know John Gibbons, great guy. That surprises me a little bit because I actually think he's kind of easygoing.
How many times do you think Joe Madden has been? I mean, Joe Madden has managed a lot of games, more I think than people realize. You know, 9 years with the Rays. 2 times was the American League Manager of the Year. He was the National League Manager of the Year last year. And Clemens walks Contreras for the second time. Joe Madden has managed 1,744 Major League games. And it's the exact same number as his dear friend, the guy that was by his side in St. Pete, Don Zimmer. This will move him into 70th all time for a number of games managed. This is really fun to watch.
Yep.
I mean, and if you're David Ross, you spend as much time as you can on that rail with Madden. Strike.
That's Joe Madden. I mean, he's a guy that, one, he's interesting and smart and a great baseball mind, but he'll pick the brain of David Ross, whoever else, accumulate more information and comprise ideas and thoughts. And you know, David Ross is a heck of a catcher. Been several organizations now, been around a long time. Why not? You don't have all the answers. Those people scare me.
Clemens hits Baez, and now Baez is staring him down. I mean, look, you're not going to hit Javi Baez with a runner at first and 2 outs in a 1-1 game on purpose. Though I'm sure it doesn't feel good. Baez doesn't appreciate it.
Well, I mean, I think that's it. I think some hitters just think that, one, every time you get hit, it's on purpose, which it's not. I don't know what's in his pocket. It looks like it helped him out there, right?
Hopefully not his cell phone.
I mean, I had teammates where every time they got hit, they always thought it was intentional. That's not intentional. You have 2 outs. Trying to establish himself, get deep in this game. What's Baez done during this series? Not a whole lot, right? Yesterday 1 for 4 with a couple strikeouts.
Time called on his way out is Juan Nieves.
And 1 for 4 the first night with 1 K.
Our research department, better known as the crack staff, Al, has quickly found the list of manager ejections, and guess what? Bruce Bochy tops.
Well,
Boch at 51, then it's Clint Hurdle at 46. We forgot about him. He's a fiery guy. And then, believe it or not, Joe Madden, 42.
He's third.
He's third, and Gibbons is fourth.
Where's Scioscia in that? I mean, I would just think it's a product of how many games you've managed, right?
He's not in the top 5.
Huh.
Well, Scioscia's managed more games than Madden because Madden was on Scioscia's staff. Ned Yost is tied with Gibbons at 38 now. So Bochy is the leader. Well, Clemens got the first 2 outs. And then he walked Contreras, hit Baez. This is Addison Russell. As a result, his pitch count is almost double that of Lackey's. Right now, pitch number 61 is coming. Hit to left and hit deep. Yelich in pursuit. Gone. And the long ball bites Paul Clemens again.
Well, unlike the solo home runs that he had given up 3 in his last start against Colorado, and then Montero, this is a 3-run jack. And after getting 2 quick outs, walks Contreras, the hit batsman by Baez, and then a 2-0 heater up out over the plate to Addison Russell. Watch this here. This 2-0 fastball up middle. Well, Russell liked it for 7th home run on the year.
Ball and a strike to Montero. 2 pitches, got 2 outs. Bryant, the slow roller to third. Rizzo, the pop fly, the shallow center. And then it all dissolved when he walked Contreras, hit Baez. And just like that, it's 4-1. Montero trying to leave again with that big uppercut and back foot swing. It's 2-2. Well, around baseball, it's known over the last week that the Marlins have been inquiring about starting pitchers. The failure of Cozart, Nicolino's struggles, and trying to find somebody in the system to come up and take the ball and pitch in that 5 spot. So far, the Marlins still looking. And right now, this has not started well for Clemens. 2 homers, 4 runs. And another walk to Montero. Lackey's up. He walked back in the 2nd. Little tapper. Prado to first. The Cubs muscle up. They hit 2 last night. They've hit 2 already today. Telecast being carried on AFN. Always an honor to be on the American Forces Network, broadcasting U.S. Armed Forces serving around the world on land and on ships at sea. Welcome and thanks for tuning in. Rich Waltz, Al Leiter, Craig Minervini. The Cubs and their young shortstop Addison Russell taking a 4-1 lead. A 3-run homer for Russell, his 7th of the season. Addison Russell's having a really nice year. Driven in 40. Wow. Miguel Montero with a solo shot. He's trying to get his year jump started. And John Lackey now has a 3-run cushion. Let's see how he handles that. It's Clemens who leads it off with Ichiro and then Prado in Miami's 3rd inning. I would think there's plenty of Chicago Cub fans that watched the NBA Finals with fascination and saw not only the Cavaliers win it in a thrilling Game 7, but also the city of Cleveland, just a cathartic celebration and parade, because the Cubs have been waiting longer than Cleveland waited, much longer.
1908 longer.
That's right. AT&T high-speed replay.
Well, Ichiro gets the walk out of Benign, right? Lead off the game. Steals it back. His 7th stolen base on the year. Base hit by Prado. Moves it to 3rd. And then a hard line drive out to center field. A produced run for the Marlins in their only run so far.
Ichiro takes up. And it's 1-0. Fouls it back to the screen. So in the march for 3,000, It's John Lackey who has yielded 36 of those hits.
Pretty good numbers, right? What'd you say? 126 plate appearances. Now still 126. Not counting as an at bat. A .303 batting average. Ichiro's done well against John Lackey.
Fastball up, and it's 2-2. Well, they arrived almost at the same time. Ichiro in 01. Lackey's great year, especially in that postseason 02. Chopper. Bryant runs it down and gets the out.
Still can get down the line. I know not as fast as when he first came in to the major leagues in Seattle. His dad made him a left-handed hitter because of that. Quicker to first base. Learned that patented little running toward first, slapping to the left side of the infield. Wonder how many hits he's gotten in his career on that. You saw a bunch when you were in Seattle.
Not as many lately. Now, you saw him in New York with the Yankees for his 2.5 seasons. There's no question he's lost a step. I mean, who hasn't when they're 42, right? But he beat out a ball the other day. Was a bouncer to the left of a shortstop. So he can still get down the line, and you saw him steal the base. He is the Marlins stolen base leader right now.
Oh, still an above average runner for sure. 42 years old.
Prado going up to get that one. Yeah, this Saturday has a bunch of games that started at the 4 o'clock Eastern time spot, that window. Night games coming tonight. In the air, Rizzo. And it's out of reach. One game is final in Major League. Oh, excuse me. 2 games are final. Someone's got a doubleheader. But 2 games are final. Al, you'll be happy to know the Yankees outlasted the Twins 2-1. Andrew Miller out of the bullpen is 5-0 with a 1.10 ERA. Aroldis Chapman's 15th save. And Baltimore shut out the Rays 5-0. Strike 3 called. Lackey has sharpened up since the first, protecting that 4-1 lead. Saturday afternoon. 4-1 Cubs. Suites, 3- and 6-game suite plans. You get preferred pricing, variable suite sizes. Select the games you want. 6-game plans with renewal include guaranteed tickets to the 2017 All-Star Game. Secure your suite plans today, 1-877-MARLINS, or go to marlins.com. Here in Miami, Cubs up right now, and here is Almora. And he bunts. A good one. Prado. Oh, he's out. Let's hope he's okay. And I think he is. Almora, as he got to the bag, sort of fell through it and then slid after the bag.
Yeah, was that a slider? Did he trip? This right here, Paul Clemens almost got in the way of Prado. Another nice play. You see just off the end of his fingertips. That under, yeah, oh. Geez.
He's lucky that he did not break his ankle or sprain it or hurt his knee. That's dangerous.
That's a whole class of run through the bag. And boy, you see some guys come up with an Achilles injury.
Yeah, the worst I've ever seen was Jason Kendall, the old Pirates catcher, who ruined a season with a bad fracture of his ankle.
Piazza used to do that a lot. That last step, just pound on it.
That's a play that Prado makes extremely quickly. You saw how that ball, when he caught it, now was in right on the palm of his hand. It wasn't in his fingers. And you don't have long to transfer that for the throw. So as he was cocking his arm, he had to roll the ball back up into his hand before he let it go.
Smooth, really. Well done. I mean, this guy played a lot of second base early part of his career.
Watch the ball.
I think more than anything else, if Clemens realizing get out of the way, it's on his palm. You see where it's barely in his fingertips. And as you said, Rich, to be able to get it to get a good grip and a firm throw. Mora's quick.
Hayward takes a fastball in. And Clemens has walked Jason Hayward.
Looked like another close pitch. Clemens, Bill Welke pretty tight. No, not close enough. That was better than, worse than I thought.
Chris Bryant now doubled into right center, bounced out back in the third. Tomorrow the series concludes. It's a 4-gamer, remember. And it's a Jose Fernandez start, Craig Minervini and Jeff Conine. 12:30 start for Marlins Live. It's brought to you by your South Florida Honda dealers.
Anything away. We saw it at first at bat for Bryant. Got a lot of breaking balls. Ended up getting a double in his first at bat. And Clemens kind of shoots across his body. And it's that low 3/4 slot. Missing away, and Bryant, oh, you leave a ball out over. He hits it harder right side.
Now Rizzo, who is 0 for 2. The Mets get Reyes back. Not Argenis Reyes. Jose Reyes.
Jose. Were they sending minors, you said?
Yes, minor league contract. So Reyes is going to jump into some minor league games. Let's turn back the clock in Flushing with Reyes rejoining the Mets.
Well, that'd be interesting with David Wright out. Is it Walker to third, Reyes to second? I'm not going to move Asdrubal Cabrera, I don't believe.
Well, I think the Mets are hoping for a little pick-me-up for their offense, and that maybe Reyes can provide that. Michael Conforto was also sent down. Brandon Nimmo brought up. Nimmo, a guy that was taken by the Mets one selection before Jose, like in 2011.
Wow.
Pulled foul. That's why you have a baseball historian on your staff. Now, John Chimchuk is our baseball historian. Look out. Look at DJ Alou. Good at bat by Rizzo, who has a lot of them. And that's into right through the shift. Stanton picks it up. Hayward races to third. Rizzo's on his way to second. And there's no way that should happen. Obviously, the Marlins were worried about Hayward, but Rizzo, as soon as he saw the throw coming to Bohr on the infield grass instead of Dietrich, took the bag.
Well, Rizzo never slows down, so they ruled it a double, but as you describe it, gets past Dietrich. You see the ball just get past the shift. Now Giancarlo comes up quickly, and I guess mindful of Hayward possibly scoring, doesn't throw it to Dietrich. He throws it to Bohr. Smart. Watch Rizzo here. Doesn't slow down. Soon as he sees the throw, hesitated a little bit, and easily getting into second.
And a breaking ball to Contreras for a strike.
Really smart play. I mean, watching the play in front of him, Rizzo was, once he saw Giancarlo Stanton throw into the first baseman as the cut to go home, kept going.
Paul Clemens now at 84 pitches here in the fourth. And for Don Mattingly, a bullpen that's been worked a lot and has pitched well, is going to have to come into this ball game and suck up some innings.
We thought last night could have been a disaster for Kohler, giving up 4 in the first, ended up going 6 innings. Helping the pen, Dunn, Wickren, and Ellington came in.
Bouncer to short. This is Echeverria. On to first is in time. Cubs lead 2, but lead this game 4-1. Kids, that's a film projector. Google it. And that's Jose Fernandez. Watch him tomorrow, 1 o'clock start. Cubs and Marlins. John Lackey, Christian Yelich. Miami down 3, and Yelich takes a strike. Cubs have thrown Yelich a lot of low fastballs right around the knees.
Well, most pitchers like to live downstairs. Generally speaking, a ball up out over the plate is what most hitters like. See, 0 for 3 last night with a walk.
Where do you live? Upstairs?
Inside.
Downstairs?
No, I live inside.
2 level?
No, just inside. I like to make sure you're in. My style of pitching, Rich, was primarily on the inside part of the plate.
You throw cutters in your sleep?
Cutters in my sleep, yeah. But, you know, 2 stories good, right? Upstairs, downstairs.
It was fastballs and lots of them in Stanton's first at bat against John Lackey. And Stanton struck out swinging on the last one he saw. There's the first breaking ball. This is out. Ball and a strike. Lackey's given up just the 9 home runs, and this is start number 15. It's career start number 402.
He's had a good career.
He really has. He's won 172 games, and ERA's under 4. A couple of World Series championships, both in the American League, Angels and Red Sox. And the oddity of him joining the Cubs is that he pitched for the Cardinals and made 2 starts, 2 against the Cubs in the division series last year. Was 1-0 with an ERA of 3.48. And his arrival here in Chicago was not met with as much scorn as Jason Hayward's back in St. Louis. Now, sure, I'm sure Cardinal fans would still love to have him, but it was Hayward's signing with the Cubs that really rankled a lot of Cardinal faithful, because the Cardinals made an offer and Hayward wanted to come to Chicago. A walk to Stanton. Here's Bohr.
Said he wanted to go to Chicago to the tune of $184 million, 8-year deal. Jason Hayward, and he's a sabermetric type valuation. Both sides of the baseball, defensively, offensively. Because when you look at Hayward, you know, power-wise, corner outfielder, I think what his best year was 27 home runs with the Braves.
Yeah, he hit just 13 last year in St. Louis, but he had 33 doubles. Bohr, a swing and a miss, and it's 1-2.
Mentioned about Lackey, Rich. Yeah, last year with the Cardinals, very good year actually. And this is just a here it is, hit it a little bit at the belt, but middle of the plate by Justin Bohr.
I wonder for Bohr, looking out at the defense and realizing that they're not shifting him. I wonder if that's messing with his head, because every time he looks up, it's a big shift. 3 guys on the right side. He's done a nice job of hitting the ball to the left side. That's kept his swing compact. He's able to drive balls out that are middle in. The Cubs are playing him straight up. straight up. It's a one-run game.
And that was a bullet. Lackey just fastball after fastball. Moore, after striking out in his first at bat, saw 3 heaters, and then this one here, middle of the plate. You see it kind of leak middle more. You see where he wanted to set up. And Montero, that was a line drive second deck. Wow.
112 miles an hour off the bat, and that one seemed like it was gaining altitude when it slammed into that upper deck. Third or fourth row. Dietrich flares one into left. That's a hit. Contreras picks it up, and the Marlins, just like that, have climbed within 1, and they've got a runner at first.
112 miles an hour. I mean, he just clicked it, barrel out front, knew it. That is a strong man. 14 home runs. 42 RBIs up here.
And of course, as we mentioned yesterday, for Bohr, so sweet that it comes against the Cubs.
Yeah.
Now, he's thankful for the opportunity to play professional baseball. The Cubs gave him that, but the road was blocked to the major leagues. And the Cubs left him not by the side of the road, but exposed. The Marlins swooped in a Rule 5, minor league Rule 5 draft. He never got to Chicago. He said he got there to play once, and a few minor leaguers came up for an exhibition game. But 2 homers in this series. Real Muto swings and misses.
Yeah, I like how you set that up. You know, listen, Anthony Rizzo is
sure,
you know, cornerstone of this franchise. You can put Chris Bryant in that almost same breath, and eventually I think you may. He wasn't going to go anywhere. Hey, that's good scouting. You know, you've got the Marlins, and you know all the clubs are scouring every single minor league level, and Marlins did a good job because Justin Bohr.
And that's a great conversation there, because it was Frank Menechino who took him aside in spring training last year. Real Muto into right field. That's a base hit. Dietrich will stop. Menechino took Bohr aside in spring training in 2015 and told him, if you're going to hit in the major leagues, you have to hit the ball to left field, and you've got to hit it there with authority. You've got to be able to hit home runs to left. Because if you're just a pull hitter, pitchers are going to pitch around that. And Bohr made that transition last year, and it really has blossomed this year.
And look at here, you have a manager in Joe Madden who, you know, loves to shift, and you couldn't have gotten more of a straight-up defense to Bohr in that last at bat.
Echeverria now. There's 1 out, so the Marlins are within a run, and obviously would like to close it completely. Close that gap here. Dietrich a hit. Real Muto a hit. Cole Gillespie is on deck. And that's Clemens' spot in the order. And Echeverria fouls it at the plate. It's 1-1. Nick Wickren is up. Good lively crowd here. Obviously the Cubs have an outstanding following wherever they go, especially these last 2 seasons. They got to the NLCS last year. Right now they're kind of the darlings of baseball this year. And Echeverria swings and misses.
Yeah, there's a handful of franchises that travel well, right? Yankees, Braves, Cubs. Throw the Dodgers in there? San Francisco, maybe?
I don't think the Dodgers travel that well because they're kind of isolated. It's a little easier on the East Coast and the Midwest. I mean, Dodger fans really can't get tickets in San Francisco, probably in San Diego. But I mean, you watch a Cubs Milwaukee game, And there's a ton of Cubs fans that make that trip, short trip up to Milwaukee. Cubs fans will show up in Pittsburgh. Probably tough to get some tickets in St. Louis.
Well, the Cubs historically, right, with WGN all those years, the Superstation, we've had the extension of fans from beyond the Chicago area because of that. Same with the Braves.
Plus they have that, it's not a stigma, but they've got that tag of lovable Cubs that Joe Madden would love to light fire to and stamp on and dance on in late October, right?
The goat.
Yeah, the Billy Goat, the curse of the Billy Goat. Last World Series was 1945. Last World Championship was 1908. Of course, they got close in 2003 in the NLCS against the Marlins, who came roaring back late in Game 6, won it in Game 7 at Wrigley. Chavarria fouls it at the plate. But Theo Epstein has really built something, and you give credit to the Cubs, who brought Epstein over from Boston, allowed him to dismantle not only the major league team. He got a ton of prospects in return for trading the valuable pieces, but revamped the scouting and the player development program. 3-2 to Etch. Time call.
Yeah, that's patience, you know, for as much as even, you know, the Cubs have had a lot of losing seasons, but to come in with that plan, as Theo Epstein did, and he laid it out and said, look, not only do we want to win eventually, but we want sustainability.
Edge up the middle, and the turn by Baez is in time. Cubs get 2, ends the inning, but Justin Bourne goes deep again. 112 off the bat, 426 feet. It's 4-3 Cubs. Check in with Craig Minervini.
Rich, the All-Star Saturdays continue here, and this is a great player in Marlins history. He was only here for 1 year, but was he great? 23 homers, 115 RBIs for Outlighters Marlins in '97 when they won the World Series. He also holds the distinction of being the only hitter to play for the Marlins in the World Series in '97 and then to face them in the playoffs in 2003. Of course, he played for the Cubs, well-known left field. Bartman, he had a couple of good years for the Cubs as well. Only one other player played for the Marlins in '97 and then faced them in the playoffs in '03. Mr. Leiter, I know I did not prep you on this. It's not unfair. It's an unfair, but he did. He played with you. in '97, and he played against you. And I'll give you a hint: it was not in the World Series where he played against you.
So you're thinking of a San Francisco Giant,
or a Cub.
a Cub. All right.
So that's good. Was it Alex Gonzalez?
If you want a hint, I can give you hints if you need hints.
Yeah, please do.
He was a pitcher.
Oh, Clement.
He had more than 10 fingers.
Oh, yes. Antonio Fonseca.
Was that a giveaway hint? I kind of gave it away. 2 1/3, 3 hits, no runs against the Marlins in '03, where he was a Cubs reliever. And of course, Jeff Conine is the only one to play for both the Marlins in '97 and 2003.
Look at you, Craig.
But how about that little nice bobblehead? How was this guy underrated?
Yes. You know, when you said 1 year, that's it. I didn't know that. He had a heck of a year.
You can argue he was the MVP in the World Series. He had 3 homers. He knocked in 9. He hit well over 320. And of course, Livan Hernandez won the 2 games, game 1 and 5, and was the MVP. But many people thought it could have been Moises Alou.
Oh, absolutely. He raked. Matter of fact, so Livan was 2-0 with a 5 ERA. I was 0-2 with a 5 ERA. No, I think I was 0-1.
That one fouled at the plate. Javi Baez, Addison Russell, Miguel Montero. So you saw Nick Wittgren in the bullpen. Don Mattingly, not desperate, but certainly wanting to not tax his bullpen, overtax them. They're trying to get another inning out of Clemens.
Yeah, that pitch count is up, right? I mean, he's 91 pitches.
Echeverria, quick release in time.
God, so smooth up the middle. Echeverria, we've seen a few nice plays already in this series, and a strong throw. Javier Baez busting down the line.
Geico presents this major league moment. 1968, Bobby Bonds. It's a grand slam in his major league debut. Bobby Bonds would hit 332 career home runs. He was, and I was just a real small kid in the Bay Area when Bobby Bonds was playing in the same outfield with Willie Mays.
McCovey at first.
Chris Spire was at shortstop.
Johnny LeMaster.
Well, LeMaster came a little later, but Spire was the shortstop in those most of the early 70s. 0-2.
Was Cepeda there?
He was.
What a team.
Tito Fuentes was at second base. Gaylord Perry on the mound. Juan Marichal.
Bringing back your youth. Look at you, Rich.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little hazy at that point. But it got a lot sharper when Oakland got very good in 71, 72. Had their great run of 3 world championship teams. But, you know, Bobby Bonds to me was a guy that obviously was overshadowed by Mays in that outfield. And just had impressive numbers. Maybe an underappreciated guy was Bobby Bonds. From 1968 to 81. That's no swing for Addison Russell. Bobby Bonds' career on base was .353, .471 slugging percentage, 332 homers, 302 doubles. Clemens thought he had the strikeout.
So did I. Oh, there it is.
Well, now he's got it. Here's the other thing about Bobby Bonds. Big power numbers, right? 332 homers. That's before homers became, you know, the thing. He stole 461 bases.
Like father, like son, right? What did Barry end up?
Barry is over, let's see, over 500 or 495. I think. All right. hold on. I got to switch.
We're really going down to Northern California memory lane here.
I got to go from one page to the next in Baseball Reference.
Nice pitch. Right. Keep pounding the zone here. Throw that again. Little lower. Off the plate. You got 2 pitches right here.
514 for Barry Lamar Bonds. So Barry Bonds was a 500 player. Well over 500 homers, obviously, and over 500 stolen bases. Big swing by Montero, and the Marlins do get another inning out of Paul Clemens. Halfway through, fun game here. 4-3 Chicago. Fox Sports Florida is brought to you by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. By Checkers, fast foodies know the deal. And by your South Florida BMW centers. (4-3) bottom 5. The Marlins are able to squeeze 5 innings out of Paul Clemens after some turbulence in this start. And Cole Gillespie is going to hit for him. So Clemens is done for the day. Pinch Penny brings you Cole Gillespie for your consideration. It's a strike. Gillespie, Ichiro Prado against John Lackey, who's thrown all of 78 pitches, 51 for strikes. Gillespie, the former Oregon State Beaver, fouls it at the plate. Lackey 5 strikeouts, 2 walks. Gave up the 2-run homer to Justin Bour in the 4th. Christian Yelich with a sacrifice fly back in the 1st. Pitch is in. And it's 1-2.
Yeah. Lackey wanted that. I think that got the inside. Yeah, there you go. A little off the plate. Front door curveball. Bill Welke got it right.
Lackey not pleased with himself. Tapper third. Bryant. And a nice stretch by Rizzo over at first. We were talking earlier in the series about how versatile the Cubs are and how a lot of even the bigger names like Bryant and Zobrist have embraced, hey, play me anywhere, just get me in the lineup. The Cubs have used in the 3 games of this series 3 players at first, 2 at second, 2 at third, 3 in left, 2 in center, and 3 behind the plate.
All buying in too.
Right, and as we talked about, when you've got only a 4-man bench and the Cubs are carrying 8 relievers, you better have versatility. In the hole at short, Russell around it, and safe at first. Ichiro's there, and the ball trickles into the camera well. And Ichiro's going to be in scoring position with what should be a base hit and a throwing error.
Look at this, because you see what Addison Russell, he gets to it quickly, and Rizzo just dropped it.
It's going to be a base hit and an error. Ichiro and the ball arriving at the same spot. So it's 16 away from 3,000 now. There's your update. 16 away. Here's Prado. Well, you saw Lackey react to Rizzo and the ball getting by him. Maybe it wasn't directed towards Rizzo, but not many pitchers will show that type of emotion on a play like that. And it's drilled into left by Prado. Here comes Ichiro. Prado on his way to second. This game is tied. Boy, that's a big error now.
Big hit from Martin Prado. Looked like a ball up out over the plate, but you're right, Rich. Huge error by Anthony Rizzo. That's a hanger. Just hammers it past Bryant. They're struggling in the earlier part of the series. I know against Lester had a tough go. Huge double.
So a 4-4 game, and here is Yelich with Stanton on deck. And Lackey pushing 90 pitches.
I said error on Rizzo. It was an error on Russell to throw. I thought it was a ball that Rizzo could handle, but it was, I guess, in the dirt.
Here's the play again. Well, the throw's not accurate, but the ball did hit his glove. It's a difficult stretch, and you probably could go either way on that.
Yeah, I mean, if it's in the air, I see where Rizzo ended up stepping more towards second base. They gave the error to Addison Russell.
The other thing in that replay, it looked like Ichiro was arriving at the bag just as the ball was getting to the glove of Rizzo. And, you know, people ask, has he lost a step? Yes, but he's still fast.
Above average for sure.
3-1 coming to Yelich. Three and 2. And that one bounces in front of the plate. And so this is a Stanton-Lackey showdown with runners first and second. Lackey has struck him out and walked him.
Yeah, Lackey chose to behind in the count, throw a couple sliders. Even a 3-2 count didn't make the pitch.
Chris Bosio on his way out to the mound. You got a lefty in the Cubs pen. That may be for Bohr if the inning is still brewing. And there's the pitch count.
Creeping up at 25 pitches in the fourth, and you see the first inning, two long innings.
What have we learned about Lackey facing Stanton in the first 2 at-bats?
First at bat, he went right after him. He threw 5 fastballs, blew him away, and then the second at bat, he got a little cute. He ended up throwing more breaking balls, so he's seen both pitches.
Stand a line drive, center field, base hit. Prado on his way home. Up with the ball, Almora, and the throw, and he's in there.
Well, no messing around there by Giancarlo. Got the heater right off the bat, pulled his hands in. Marlins take the lead. Watch here, right away, attacks the zone. Kind of bored in a little bit on his hands, a little short alligator arm swing. And Prado on the horse here, aggressive. Call from Lenny Harris. Morris showed a strong arm. I thought it was going to be a lot easier than that. I don't know if he had a fairly close play. You see turn around, making sure that ball gets to the outfield. Prado. Nice slide.
Not only have the Marlins taken the lead, but who would have thought that Paul Clemens would have lasted longer than John Lackey in this ballgame? Joe Madden comes out with the hook, a West Kendall Toyota, called to the bullpen. On top of the Cubs, Giancarlo Stanton with an RBI single. That followed an RBI double by Martin Prado. Cubs open the door, and the Ichiro hit with a throwing error. And Gerardo Concepcion in for the Cubs. Made his major league debut against the Cardinals. Finds himself here on a Saturday in Miami in to face a left-handed bat in Justin Bohr. The Marlins inning still going. Joe Madden taking a look at the card. Toyota brings you an inside look. Second grand slam of Justin Bohr's career, 97th in Marlins history. 14 of them are by first baseman. 7th here at Marlins Park. How about that?
Wow.
So Gerardo Concepcion against Justin Bohr. Bohr gets an at-bat against the lefty. Concepcion misses down. Yelich at second, Stanton at first. Miami got 2 last inning on Bohr's rocket homer into the upper deck. And they have 2 this inning. Ball and a strike. Or to left, and it's going to peel up into the seats. It's a nice play.
Nice.
On the man of steel.
It's a little get to that ball.
One, two. Bohr slices down the line. It's fair. Yelich will score. Stanton to third. He'll hold there. And Justin Bohr, against a tough lefty, drives in another with a double. And that is a great example of how far Bohr has come as a hitter.
What a nice job by Justin Bohr. I mean, you said it, Rich. This is a left-handed specialist coming in. He stays down and away. The previous pitch, look at like a hockey goalie just sticking his bat out. You look at, watch Yelich at second there. A good read. Immediately takes a look, make sure it's out of left field. Nice secondary lead. Good hitting by Justin Bohr. Tough pitch down and away.
Another lefty on lefty matchup. Dietrich. Dietrich to left field, and with one out, it should be deep enough. Stanton tags on his way home, and he scores. 7-4 Miami.
Just like that.
Two really good at bats by the lefties, Bohr and Dietrich.
A big double from Prado with the single, infield single and error by Ichiro. Yelich having a good at bat, walking, and then Stanton with the base hit. Keep the line moving.
Two down, Real Muto, and still a runner in scoring position. Bohr remains. He's out at second base. One for two. Those at bats against Lackey. And the book is closed on John Lackey. You documented how well he's pitched lately. Ever since the calendar turned to May. 4 1/3, 7 hits, 7 runs, 3 walks and 5 strikeouts. Lackey's ERA now sits at 3.29.
Wow.
That's a bump up from 2.78.
Yeah, coming into today's game, he was one of the best pitchers in the National League since May 1st.
A 1.97 ERA once that calendar turned. That one pulled. I don't think Superman got that one. Two balls, 2 strikes. And Real Muto fights that off. We saw Spencer Patton in the Cubs pen. But a lot of resilience from this Miami team. Remember yesterday, the Cubs battered Tom Kohler in the first. Were up 4-0. And then Bohr hit the grand slam to tie it. Cubs would win the game 5-4. And here, with Lackey looking sharp and Paul Clemens wobbling, the Cubs roared to a 4-1 start. And now Miami has knocked Lackey out and has a 7-4 lead. And Clemens will watch and hope that Miami's bullpen can hold the lead. 2-2 coming to Real Muto.
Yeah, how about that for Paul Clemens? Just sticking around. They get through the 5. They had a possibility of getting taken out after the 4th inning. Pitch count up to 85. Got through 5 innings. And as you said, Rich, now pitcher of record, the 3-run lead from Miami.
Pop-up Rizzo. 4 runs for the Marlins. Justin Bour has driven in 7 in his last 2 games. 7-4 Miami. Go here as afternoon turns to night in Miami. Bring your group to the ballpark. Enjoy a personalized experience. Spend quality time with your guests at an affordable cost. Perfect for family outings, birthdays, and networking. Call the Marlins Group sales team today to make your group's reservation. 1-877-MARLINS or go to marlins.com/groups today. This is Nick Wickren. And this is the state of Miami's bullpen going into tonight, 3rd game of this 4-game set.
It's in pretty good shape. Last night, having done Wickren and Brian Ellington coming in. Ellington 2 innings, the 4 strikeouts last night. Ramos not used, McGowan not used. A day off for Phelps.
Former Marlin Chris Coghlan as a pinch hitter, and he fouls it back. Coghlan had a nice night. Since joining the Cubs, he's been able to get on base. He's always been pretty good at that. Last night, he was 1 for 3 with a triple and walked twice. Wickren elevates a fastball. It's 0-2. Coghlan opening the season in Oakland. 51 games with the Athletics, hit just a .146. So he was traded to Oakland, then traded back to the Cubs.
They liked him.
They did. Joe Madden likes him a lot. And said he really has fit in with the injuries the Cubs have had, to get somebody who knows the system, so to speak. At the knees.
He didn't like it. Home plate umpire Bill Welke will get a good look right here. Previous pitch was a changeup, and then that little 2-seam comeback, perfect down and in. That is a pitcher's pitch, folks. This would be a good angle, knee high. Yes.
Front of the plate. That's where the strike zone is. It's front of the plate. Whether in or out or up or down. It's where the ball crosses the front of the plate. And that's where Fox tracks and the tracking technology captures that pitch.
Which it should be. Where else would you? Where else would you put it?
I think a lot of people feel it's where it goes across where the hitter is standing. Hitter's in the back of the box. That's a liner in the center field, and a base hit for Almora. And the Hialeah kid is aboard with a 1-out single. A lot of people feel, I mean, especially like a big 12-6 curveball that is coming downward. A catcher sometimes has to turn the glove over to catch it. People think it's slow, but if it is coming at knee level at the front of the plate and ends up going down further before it's caught, it looks low, but it's not.
Oh yeah, of course. Well, I mean, but the contact point for most hitters, unless they're way in the back of the box or let the ball travel the ball away, hitters will let it go deep in the zone. It's got to be the front of the plate.
Hayward now struck out, lined out, walked. Paul Clemens' line is 5 innings, 4 runs, 4 hits, 5 walks, and 4 strikeouts.
That I would say was a grind out, gutted out performance.
103 pitches in those 5 innings.
But as you'll probably hear with post-game Don Mattingly saying, he kept his team in it, gave his team a chance to win.
Wickren now 3-0 to Hayward. You've got Bryant on deck. Obviously the Cubs have plenty of guys that with one swing can change the game back. On one hand, last 15 games, Marlins penned an ERA of under 2. On the other hand, in those 15 games, 47 innings. Wow. A lot of innings, and that even comes with some deep starts. Wei Chen, a 7-inning start. Adam Conley, an 8-inning start. Jose went 7 his last time out. Dietrich, Echeverria. Nick Wickford, an uneventful 6th. In Miami, 7-4, Fish. Bottom 6. If you're left-handed, this is a good place to be in the Marlin lineup. Sacrifice fly by Christian Yelich. That was in the first. Of course, Ichiro had walked and stolen a bag before that. Then Bohr, 2-run homer. Yeah, there's Ichiro again. It's a base hit. He's 16 away from 3,000. And then Bohr, a double down the line. Dietrich follows with a sacrifice fly. And that's been part of it for Miami. So Keep this in mind. Jason Hayward goes from right to center. And Chris Coughlin's in right field. We'll get our baseball historian on it, see how many times Coughlin has played right.
Lefty this afternoon, huh?
Lefties this afternoon. And the new pitcher, Spencer Patton. Cubs got him from the Rangers last offseason. Edge up the middle. Russell gets to it and gets the out. So it was John Lackey for 4 1/3. Gerardo Concepcion for 2/3 of an inning. Spencer Patton here. And this is Chris Johnson, who will be hitting in the pitcher spot. Bearclaw in Miami's pen. Pitch is in and it's 2-0. Patton gets strike one. Johnson has been getting starts against lefties. Ron Mattingly has brought him into games late as a defensive replacement. Be curious to see if he stays in this game. Sharpley, Russell. There's a lot of baseball left.
Yeah,
three innings left, and Boras had such an impact with his bat. You never know if that bat will be needed again. Let's check in with Craig Minervini. Craig?
Well, Ichiro is one hit away from Sam Rice. We'll have more on the Hall of Famer tomorrow, who was involved in a controversial play in the World Series back in the 20s. But as for Ichiro, he's now 16 hits away from 3,000. He's been at a pretty interesting pace, way ahead of what most people expected. He's had that guy busy with magic markers, guys. His 49 hits now. He's on pace for over 3,050 hits now, and if you do the math, he averages about 0.66 hits per game. You're looking around July 25th or so at this pace to break the mark. That would be a home game against the Phillies. St. Louis in after that, but that's at a very high pace that he's been at now.
Thank you, Craig. A walk, a stolen base, 2 runs scored. Also an infield single, so he's 1 for 2.
Fountain of youth. He's found it.
Ichiro up the middle. Baez gets him at first. And Spencer Patton goes 1, 2, 3 in the 6th. Mike Trout, all of baseball superstars come together for the primetime event that will light up the summer. Major League Baseball All-Star Game from San Diego, or San Diego, on July 12th, only on Fox. Of course, Marlins Park will have the All-Star Game in 2017. There will be a good-sized contingent of the Marlins front office in San Diego. That's a tradition in baseball. They'll be there to observe the
operation.
Not only the operation from the Padres' point of view, but the operation that Major League Baseball sends in. Major League Baseball sends their folks in. They essentially run the game with the help of the host team's organization.
Makes sense, right? You better get it right.
Kyle Bearclaw takes over for Nick Wickren. Wickren worked the 6th. Paul Clemens the first 5. And though it didn't look like he would get through 5, he ended up sticking out longer than John Lackey.
Yeah.
Lackey just 4 1/3.
Mattingly gave Clemens a chance to get out there another inning, and right now, pitcher record, the 5 walks. He did give up the 2 home runs.
And just for those that were wondering, Justin Bour stays in the ballgame. Bryant, Rizzo, Contreras. There's plenty of firepower here for the Cubs. As Bryant fouls it back, he's doubled. He's bounced out, flied out. The Cubs have 2 home runs and 2 doubles. 1 single. That one almost clipped Bryant.
Yeah, a little overthrown slider, which is Kyle Bearclaw's pitch. Throws it about 40% of the time. Very occasional changeup. Exceptional stuff. Matter of him honing the strike zone. I mean, that's the kind of arm that he possesses. 97, 98, and then a wipeout slider.
And a fastball at 96 finishes Chris Bryant. 1 out here in the 7th. Sunday tomorrow, it's Jewish Heritage Day at Marlins Park. Marlins and Cubs 1:10 start. First 5,000 kids get a pair of Marlins athletic socks, courtesy of U-Health. I can see Al Leiter walking through security in those socks at the airport. Kids can run the bases in the Diamond Dash after the game.
I'd wear those. Yeah. Wouldn't you?
Sure.
Yeah. Like orange.
Strike to Rizzo, who doubled in the 4th. The ball into right field. Fastball up. Cubs boast a 48-24 mark. Of course, yesterday's win snapped a 4-game losing streak. Now it's Eric Hinsky by the side of Joe Madden. Mets and Braves are tonight, 7:15 Eastern Time. Marlins a game behind the Mets. Slicing away from Yelich. Calls for a hit. Rizzo round first. Second double for the South Florida native.
Again, for a guy as strong as Anthony Rizzo, gets the 2 strikes. Chokes up a little bit. That fastball Bearclaw wanted in and ended up being away. Stays out the baseball. Nice job of hitting. Not trying to do a whole lot, especially with a guy like Kyle Bearclaw throwing 97, 98. It's a good player.
Now Wilson Contreras, who's walked twice and bounced out. The Nationals have lost 6 in a row, so both the Marlins and the Mets have been creeping up on the Nats. And Washington right now in Milwaukee and trailing in that ball game 6-5 in the 7th. That looks like a throwback salute to the Negro Leagues, because the Nationals, I believe, look like are dressed as the Homestead Grays. Ball and a strike. Kyle Bearclaw's first inning. Second reliever to work. There's that slider, a little tapper. Bearclaw gathers and gets him at first. Anthony Rizzo held second.
That's a good job right here by Bearclaw. Not getting too antsy. Still be under control. Gets his feet underneath him and throws a strong throw. Nice job by Bohr. A swinging bunt slider. Good play.
I'd say the guy that looks great in those throwback jerseys, Jason Worth.
Jason Worth
with the big beard and all the hair. He looks like he stepped out of, you know, the 1920s, 1930s. Actually, he looks more like 1890s.
Well, no, I was going to say prehistoric.
Yes.
Looks like a caveman.
Baez fouls it back. Did you ever pop into one of those throwbacks? I mean, in the authentic throwbacks where it has those 3/4 sleeves.
I believe they started doing that when I was with the Mets. I remember wearing like old, whatever their old stuff was, but not prior to Mets inception, '62. But there was a couple games where we would wear their original uniforms.
'62 Mets.
Yeah. Old wool looking things. I think it was actually wool. Now, when I was playing, they were doing like this futuristic stuff for a couple years. I remember they were. It was.
Yeah.
I didn't like that.
In the year 2010.
Yeah.
All baseball players will look like this.
I think it was more like the year 2300. 2300.
I'll tell you, one of the first throwback nights I ever saw, I thought we were going to lose Chris Bosio. He was pitching in a sold-out Kingdome on a Saturday night, and that place got hot when people were in it, 50,000. And I believe the throwback uniforms were wool. And Bosio, by the second inning, was a ball of sweat. And by the time he left, he may have dropped 15 or 20 pounds that night. Bearclaw strikes out Baez. Dick Wickren and Kyle Bearclaw with scoreless innings. Marlins, 8 hits for Miami. Cubs looked like they were going to run away with it. The Marlins reeled them back and have the lead. This was turn ahead the clock in 1999. How about Kevin Millar? Is that Ryan Dempster?
Yes.
In the year 2020, every major leaguer will look like this, and every city will have a people mover.
Was that what it was, 2020?
Yeah, you could see.
Oh, yeah, 2020. Well, that was better than what I was with the Mets at the time, the Mercury Mets. That looks okay.
Prado takes a strike. Martin Prado, 2 hits, a single in the first, big RBI double in the 4-run 5th. Spencer Patton, fastball for a strike. David Phelps. Getting ready for the 8th. Prado, Rizzo, nice play, and he throws it right by Patton. Prado was arriving soon. He, Patton, and the ball converging all at once.
Well, I mean, that's a heck of a play. Rizzo, I think, went a little too far, not realizing where his second baseman was playing, and then he throws a bullet. And what makes this hard is that you have a pitcher running. Patton didn't really get down the lines where he could run parallel with the runner, but it looked like he threw about an 85-mile-an-hour heater. Sure, and then just strong throw, so you got to run in the first and looking back to your left. Tough play for the pitcher.
Now Yelich. Yelich walked and scored. It's bounced out, has a sacrifice fly.
That's a tough error.
On Rizzo.
Rizzo got the error. It's a tough play.
I would think for a score, it's a hard decision when a guy makes an incredible dive and then gets up, and at that point a good throw gets a guy.
Yeah. Well, I hear you. Okay, so getting to the ball was the hard part, and it was just a matter of feeding it to your pitcher.
Right. I'm sure you get points in your favor for getting to a ball. The conundrum, if you want to use that word, for a official score is once the guy gets to his feet, it takes an average play from there. Now it's hard to divide plays in half.
Yeah, would a good throw would have gotten him, because he would have.
Runner goes, and a bouncer into left. Marlins play hit and run. Yelich gets the hit, and Prado will hold second. Contreras got to the ball quickly.
A little movement. The Marlins are making the Cubs bunch here. Let's see, Addison Russell. Would that have been through the hole either way? Oh, yeah. I think that was well done. Watch there, the shortstop, Addison Russell, covering. Prado on the move. Wide open hole. Good job of hit by Christian Yelich.
Here is Stanton now. He had a big hit as well in the 5th. He was the last man to face John Lackey, a line drive RBI single. Joe Madden went to his bullpen and got Concepcion, the lefty. Bohr would double down the left field line against the lefty, and Dietrich would follow with a sacrifice fly. And there's your box score for the Marlins. Another home run for that man, who's only driven in 7 runs in the last 2 games here. Stanton, another laser beam in the gap, and it's gonna get to the wall. Here comes Prado. Here comes Yelich. 2-run double. 9-4 Miami.
Now the Marlins blowing it open right here. This is a hard hit ball that's almost identical pitch from the first pitch that Pat threw. A hanging slider into third. Stan knew it. That ball is smoked. Wide open, hanging, middle of the plate. More tack-on runs. 2 more here in the 7th. 108 miles an hour off the bat.
Now Bohr. And hard enough to scoot through that gap with Hayward in center and Contreras in left. Changeup misses out to Bohr, and it's 2-0. Would not advise throwing that pitch anywhere near the plate because Bohr has absolutely feasted on changeups. I don't know that you could call last night a changeup. It was a cutter at 88. Changeup speed for some.
Yeah.
And he blasted it to center for a homer.
Now for Hendricks, that's about his velocity, not a hard thrower.
3-0 pitch coming. That's a strike from Spencer Patton. So 9-4 Miami. And instead of David Phelps, it's Dustin McGowan up now. The cushion is 5 runs.
Well, Phelpsy could use another day if he could.
Or hooks a ground ball. And it's going to move Stanton to third. And here comes Dietrich.
How about Stanton and Ward today? 6 of the 9 runs, RBIs for both Giancarlo and Justin Bohr. 3 RBIs apiece.
Productive out, gets you some high fives. That's good to see. Joe Madden on his way out. Cubs bullpen active. And a pitching change here for the Cubs. West Kendall Toyota called to the bullpen. Marlins have cracked it open. 9-4. That is tomorrow. Jose Fernandez, Jason Hamill. Hamill, like all the other Cubs starters, with a nice and tidy ERA of 2.55. Love the projector sound. And I like the little squigglies that pop in to make it look like an old-time movie.
Simple things amuse you, huh? It's good.
This is Justin Grimm. And it's a good at bat for Derek Dietrich, because the Marlins do have a 5-run lead, but you can never have enough of a lead, especially against the Cubs. So with Stanton 90 feet away, the infield's in. Dietrich delivered a sacrifice fly in the 5th, singled in the 4th. 10 hits for Miami. They knocked John Lackey around for 7 runs. Struck him out. Dietrich didn't like it.
Just got the corner.
It's a perfect pitch.
I mean, this is what you call a pitcher's pitch. I know that Dietrich didn't like it, and it looks like the catcher, Montero, pulled the glove up. This would be a better angle to see the height of it. It had the plate. Well,
it's at the knees.
Front knee.
Yep, front of the plate. The hollow of the knee.
The hollow. Still looking for the hollow.
Sounds like a horror movie, doesn't it?
The hollow of the knee?
The hollow. Or the hollow of the knee. That might be the sequel to The Hollow.
So there has been some discussion about the strike zone having been lower and trying to get more offense to bring the pitches up.
Would it go from the hollow to the cap?
I think the cap would be good, yeah. The hollow, what's easy? Well, below the kneecap, right? What's the hollow?
Yeah.
I thought that was your patella.
Well, I guess you could.
It wouldn't sound right. From the patella.
Right, and you wouldn't get hollow tendonitis. Liner to right. That's Coughlin out there. And he makes the catch. But the Marlins add on Giancarlo Stanton. A 2-run single, and now it's 9-4. Not turn back the clock night, but those guys look like they've come right out of either the cornfields or off of that 1908 World Championship Cubs team. Even when you go back into color, those guys stay in black and white, it looks like. It's kind of creepy, actually. Miguel Rojas will come in and play first base. And Dustin McGowan now arrives for the Marlins. 9-4, Fish on top, 8th inning. Addison Russell leads it off. Fastball from McGowan for a strike. Dustin McGowan, Nick Wickren have really added depth to Miami's bullpen. In this run that the Marlins have had, they've leaned heavily on the pen, and those two guys, importantly, have sucked up innings and outs.
And if you could add Brian Ellington, what he brought last night,
absolutely.
I know it's, you know, it's a short snippet, but if he can carry on and watch it, Bear Claw. I mean, again, throwing strikes, fill up the zone, get ahead. I mean, they got some good arms, Rich.
I think the bullpen has really settled in, and the trio we just talked about has added depth and stability. The challenge for the Marlins is to find that same stability and depth in their rotation. And whether it's by guys making adjustments and improving, or whether it's by acquiring somebody as the calendar turns towards July.
Well, there's very few teams that couldn't use another starting pitcher, and I think the Marlins, I mean, you alluded to it, that they're looking for another starter. They do that. I mean, I love the hitting approach of what the Marlins have done automatically there with Barry Bonds and Frankie Menechino. They can hit. Going the other way.
Yeah, oh, no question about it. And just looking at this Cubs series is a great example of what the Marlins have been about over this 2-week run. You know, they come out and have that great finish in the 8th inning in Game 1. They fell behind 4-0 in the first and then tied it to lose the game 5-4. That's cranked to the gap left center. Yelich racing over, cuts it off, and nicely will hold Miguel Montero to a single. A walk and a single from Russell and Montero. And then here the Cubs had a 4-1 lead. Lackey looks comfortable. Paul Clemens did not. And Clemens ends up hanging in longer than Lackey. And the Marlins obviously put the pedal down. Here's Coughlin now, his second at bat. Cub fans starting to make some ruckus. Rojas out there, runs gonna score out there. Marlins get 2, Cubs get a run. And a smart play by Miguel Rojas to get those 2 outs.
Nice play. Miguel Rojas, I tell you with quickness, I know a middle infielder. Coughlin can run, so he knew he had to be quick. He created a lane by moving up toward the infield grass. Watch what he does here. He moves slightly inside, allowing that to be open for Echeverria and quickly getting back. Watch here. Takes one additional step that gives Echeverria a chance to see the ball clearly. Man, that's a nice play.
Harry Hill will tell you that the best first baseman he's got defensively is Rojas.
I believe it, right? I mean,
so he can play all 4 infield positions and play them all well.
That's slick right there.
Ben Zobrist is coming off the bench for the Cubs. So a run for Chicago. Zobrist here in the 9 spot. And McGowan misses. It's 3-0. Jason Hayward is on deck. Longtime Toronto Blue Jay McGowan. Zobrist doing what Zobrist does. And he walks. And here comes Hayward.
And a couple walks, you get leadoff walk for any pitcher, but relievers, it's such a bugaboo. You want them to earn their place on the base, and McGowan just missing enough.
And that's the result. You see Phelps is up and heating up, and that, for relievers, it may feel like you're just bringing a reliever out there with a 5 or a 6-run lead, and they're just out there to mop up. Marlins will not pay attention to Zobrist, and he takes second base. And here comes Juan Nieves. But if that reliever who's in there with that 5 or 6 run lead doesn't get out, it kind of defeats the purpose, because you've got to get the guy up that you would have brought in with a 2 or a 3 run lead.
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, listen, I mean, every major league pitcher wants to get out there and throw up a 0 and punch out the side. So that clearly your intention, no matter what the score is. And you're right, Rich. I mean, it you know, looked like it was a chance for David Phelps to get an off day. And even though now this is twice that he's up, and they're, you know, we'll see how this inning plays out if he doesn't get in here. You're still throwing. It's still not a complete off day from playing catch earlier in the day when this game started at 4 o'clock.
Strike to Hayward. Nice job. McGowan got a glove on it, captures it, and gets the out. The Cubs get a run, but that's it. 9-5 Miami to the bottom of the 8th. Is the presenting sponsor for Miami Marlins baseball. Was trying to do James Earl Jones, but failed miserably. 9-5 Miami on top, bottom 8. Rich Waltz out lighter. Craig Minervini.
A little deeper. You got to go a little deeper, Ray.
Oh. Chris Bryant in center field. Ben Zobrist says, I will play second. Javi Baez says, hey, can I play third?
How about it, huh? I mean, this is right out of Tampa Bay Rays roster from when Joe Madden was there for so many years. How many guys played multiple positions on this team?
Yeah.
And you said it, they have 8 relievers and only 4 extra players with 3 catchers. Contreras, Montero, and David Ross.
And Contreras is playing all over the place.
And he's all over the place.
We've seen him, what, in left field and in first base. There he is. Echeverria shoots one foul.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, you know, if home runs are down, if you will, from the days of the late 1990s and 2000, you have multiple positions for guys. Versatility.
Edwards is listed at 6'3", 170.
God, he looks like about 150 pounds, doesn't he?
Out of Mid Carolina High School in Prosperity, South Carolina.
96.
He was a 48th round draft pick by Texas. And then the Cubs got him in the Matt Garza trade with Justin Grimm. How many relief pitchers wear number 6?
How many pitchers wear 6? Oh, wait a minute. Toronto, Stroman. I don't like single digits on a pitcher.
Maria rolls one to short. Russell loads up and gets the out.
I know, right? I mean, pitcher, single digits for a fast guy, isn't it? Right? Isn't it single digits?
Or a Yankee grade.
Oh yeah, well, he can't even do that anymore, right?
Right.
Who was 6? Joe Torre was 6, wasn't he? Because he couldn't wear 9. Maris.
Well, you're the Yankee guy.
There's nothing left. I mean, wait till Jeter, they retire his. You got to go to like number 58 to get your first number, right?
Here's Rojas with Ichiro on deck. There's one out. And so Ichiro is going to get another shot. He does have a hit tonight, if you're just happening by, and is 16 shy of 3,000.
What did Craig Minervini say? What is it, 0.6 hits a game?
Now, is that in games he appears in or just Marlins games?
I don't know. He lost me at 0.6.
We need to get Craig back with his slide rule.
That is total games.
Total game.
For Ichiro or for the Marlins?
For the Marlins and Ichiro. So what is he at, 49 now, guys?
I don't know. He's raking, Craig.
49 hits. He is.
Bet 348.
Oh, wait, I'll do that. Let me give you the updated.
Looks like he's about 28 years old, not 42.
Time permitting.
Well, I'll tell you what. Yeah? What do you got there?
So now it is 0.65 hits per game. So times that by, let's say, 24. That's 16 hits.
And that's for games Ichiro plays in?
That's for total Marlins games.
Oh, total Marlins.
You have to figure for total Marlins games.
Okay. All right.
So you're looking at about 24, 25 games.
Okay. At
that pace, you know, hey, the way he's going, Rich, and you know that if Ozuna's out for a couple more, he's getting 2-3. That could change in a hurry.
Edwards misses out. Ichiro's hit was in the 5th. Also walked, stole a base, and scored in the 1st. Breaking ball, a strike. If you missed it on Marlins Live, maybe you'll get it on Marlins Live post game. Marcell Ozuna, sore left wrist, out today. Breaking ball, Ichiro lines it left center and caught there. Running catch in center by Bryant. Hit it well. To the 9th, 9-5 Miami. Sports Florida is brought to you by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By Dodge, visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. And by your South Florida Honda dealers. 9-5. Miami on top. Cubs roared to a 4-1 lead. And then the Marlins knocked John Lackey around. This to McGowan. It's Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo, and Wilson Contreras. With a 4-run lead, David Phelps is in the bullpen and he is loose. Bryant's doubled in 4 trips. Rizzo has 2 doubles. Contreras 0 for 2 with 2 walks. Now 1-2. Now A.J. Ramos is up. In the first 2 games of the series, and if it gets tighter here, he may be the guy the Marlins call in.
1 run away from being a save opportunity.
A couple base runners away.
That's right.
Seems like the sky is the limit for this guy, Chris Bryant. 24 years old, didn't spend much time in the minor leagues. Just about every award you can win as a college player he won. Baseball America Player of the Year. Fastball in. 2nd overall pick in 2013. All-American at University of San Diego. In 13 he was Baseball America's NCAA Player of the Year. And the next year he was their minor league Player of the Year. Pitch is in.
Well, almost hit him the previous pitch, got ahead. McGowan just missing enough. God, I like his arm. He'll talk consistently in that mid-90s, occasionally touches upward to 97, 98. So the save situation, for those who don't know, with a tying run has to be on deck for it to be a safe situation.
Or 3 runs or less and you get the final 3 outs in the game.
Right.
Or 3 innings.
3 innings.
No matter what the lead, to finish the game.
That was my first save at Santa Claus here.
That was your first save?
3 innings in Baltimore. Came in relief of Todd Stottlemyre.
How many major league saves?
I think I have 2.
Was your other one a more conventional one?
A 1 pitch, 1 out, Paul O'Neill, ground ball out. I was with the Blue Jays.
Did he kick the cooler and throw his helmet?
I'll tell you what, he hit it hard to third base. Hed Sprague was the third baseman, and yeah, Dwayne Ward was our closer. For some reason, I don't know. I guess he probably threw too much. I came in for 1 out.
Bryant, the runner at first. Look out. Went right at the Cubs dugout. Counts 0-2. Now the Marlins are not holding Bryant here. Rojas is well behind him. And you would expect him to try to take second base. Are you on that same page where you just let the runner go to second here? There he goes. This time Rizzo finds the dugout.
I mean, I'd like to keep the double play in order, but the fact that the Marlins are up by 4, they're looking at Bryant's run as less relevant than trying to get a better angle on Anthony Rizzo at first.
Time called. I've heard both schools of thought.
Yep. I don't like it. I'd rather play conventional and try to get him to not get a walking lead.
Well, deflected, and McGowan is there. And if Rojas was holding him, he never would have touched it. He kept it in the infield. Dietrich hits McGowan on the run, and the Marlins get that out at first. And so we gave you both sides of thought.
Love the idea, Rich. Yeah, that's clearly a base hit. Now you have first and third without playing cover the runner at first, Rojas being back, and then not having to implement the shift. Any event, 1 out.
Fly ball left center field, into the gap, and to the wall. Wilson Contreras has done it again. His 4th RBI of the series. His 4th hit of the series.
A couple walks and a 0 for 2 leading up to this pitch right here. Got it off the end of the bat. I thought he got jammed. And still driving it out there at left center field all the way to the wall. And that'll be it for Dustin McGowan. You see Bryant making sure it goes through, easily scoring, making this a 9-6 game.
Don Mattingly on his way out. A.J. Ramos on his way in. West Kendall Toyota call to the bullpen. Nine 9-6 Miami, and A.J. Ramos is into the game, and it is a save opportunity, and if Ramos can convert, he will tie Steve Cishek's club record of consecutive saves converted. 1 away. Todd Jones, Brian Harvey, J.C. Oviedo, the pitcher formerly known as Leo Nunez.
What a job A.J. Ramos has done for the Marlins. Terrific numbers, the 23 for 23 this year. Only Juris Familia's got 4 saves at 25. And not your typical, in today's game, closer, where he's throwing 100 miles an hour with 1 out pitch. He's got 3 pitches, and he pitches.
First pitch swinging. Baez hits it a mile high. Echeverria plants himself and makes the catch. One pitch, an out for Ramos, the second out of the inning.
Well, you heard Baez yelling after he popped up. The first pitch slider from Ramos up in the zone. I guess he thought he should have hit it harder, farther.
Russell had a 3-run homer, and at that point it looked like Paul Clemens' afternoon would be a short one. That was back in the third. It was a messy inning for Clemens. He walked a man, he hit a man. Russell hit a 3-run jack. He walked another. Cubs were up 4-1. Lackey looked solid. Clemens did not, and then it all turned. That one hit the batter, Addison Russell. And now the Cubs are going to bring the tying run to the plate. This probably clipped his jersey, and it did. And here is Montero, who homered in the second. Miami had a 1-0 lead. Montero tied it. And then that third inning happens, and it was 4-1. First and second, Montero the tying run. Ramos needs it out. Gets a strike. Another nasty pitch right there to left-handed batters. A.J. Ramos, the changeup, batting average against is 080. Watch the ball just dip down and away here. You see the circle change. Beautiful action. Nice pitch. 21st round draft pick in 2009. 0-2 to Montero. Swing and a miss, ball game, and a big win for Miami. They beat John Lackey, and Justin Bour haunts his old team again. Grand slam yesterday. Today the 2-run homer started the comeback, and an RBI double, one of the finishing shots. And the Marlins bullpen brings it home, although wobbling a bit at the end, for Paul Clemens. And Miami has taken 2 of the first 3 of a 4-game set. So the chance to win the series with Jose Fernandez on the mound tomorrow.
Your big man. I'll tell you, what a game. You set it up perfectly, Rich. Lackey, as well as he was pitching, they go up. The Cubs do 4-1. The Marlins chip away with 2 in the 4th, and then they basically blow it open with 4 runs in the 5th. Just resilient, relentless kind of lineup. Keep going. Stanton, Bour in the middle of all of it, with each having 3 RBIs apiece.
And of course, with A.J. Ramos now, 24 of 24 and 33 straight. He's tied for the team record with Steve Cishek. Let's go down below to Craig Minervini.
All right, Rich, Justin Bour joins us. An outstanding game for you guys. What was your approach against Lackey today there, Justin?
You know, honestly, just trying to hit the ball hard. You know, he's obviously a good pitcher, and just looking for something to drive. You know, I know, you know, there's a lot of homework being done on what pitches to throw when. So it's, you know, just really just trying to be short and you know, hit the ball hard.
You know, your manager tells us how confident your club was, and even he was a little surprised in spring training. You guys feel very good about yourself. But the Cubs have been the team to beat. Well, I know it's early in the year, but what does it mean to take 2 out of 3? And you got a shot at a series win against the team right now that's got the best record.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's a real test of seeing where we're at as a team. You know, we believe that we're a very good team. You know, we think we have all the pieces, and you know, this is obviously a great way to see how we measure up against, you know, one of the best teams in the league right now. So, yeah, I mean, just got to show you that, you know, we got a great ball club.
The baseball season is so funny, the ups and downs of the season. You're on a nice little run now. for yourself. How do you see yourself as a hitter compared to previous years? This year, where you're getting really a good look every day, and you're finding those seats up there, which has been a tough spot for a lot of left-handed hitters in this ballpark.
I mean, honestly, just trying to take the same approach since day one. Really, nothing really has changed too much for me as a hitter. Kind of establish myself as a hitter in the minor leagues, and try to continue that, through my major league career.
You've been asked this before. When you play for an organization, some of these guys for 5 years, the Cubs, you wore that blue and red proudly, brought you to professional baseball. Every player pretty much would tell you it's kind of special to do well against them. How about for you?
Yeah, I mean, I got nothing but respect for that organization. They were the ones who drafted me out of college and, gave me an opportunity to, play the game that I love. So, I got no hard feelings towards them. It's obviously good to see some of my buddies that, I came to the minor leagues with and really grinded it out with. But, at the end of the day, they're the enemy, and, I'm not going to feel bad if I go out and do well against them.
Is there even an extra little juice because it's that familiar C logo?
There's a little extra juice because, I look around and I see all the fans that are showing up for us. That's been great. That's the extra motivation is the fans showing some love for us.
Well, you can kind of feel like you're turning the town on, and tomorrow you get a good chance with Jose Fernandez. Never easy to win a series, but it'll be a nice homestand for you if you can finish it off tomorrow.
Yeah, not a bad guy to have on the mound tomorrow, and Jose. So Jose Day.
Hey, we avoided the Gatorade and the pie from the monkey.
Good.
I'm with you. Thanks, Justin. Always like talking to Justin. Guys, let's go back to you.
All right. Well, don't look what behind you though, Craig. Just kidding. Yes, no monkey. You're right. But you know what? It's always nice to have that possibility. Always nice to have a post-game interview. The Marlins have won their second game of 3 against the Cubs. Total team effort for the Fish in this one. Back to 5 over at 40 and 35. Marlins Live is next.